You're listening to Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. Small town feel with big time ideas. After all, you are entitled to Brad's opinion. Here's your host, Brad Allard.
Well, sorry we're a little bit late, guys. We had a little technical snafu, but Josh, the boss, got it all taken care of, and so we're good to go. No problems. We're going to be talking about the Burleson Opportunity Fund, and I got three of the board members here. Daniel Pentikis. I never could get it right. Daniel, we call him. Daniel.
That guy.
And then we got Sam Ross, who may,
Hi, everybody.
Well, he may be talking a little higher octave because he's drinking coffee that's really hot. Anyway, and
I need the kid temp.
Yeah, I know. And then we have Victoria here. She's also, I don't know exactly what positions. I know Daniel's the president, and you're the secretary, and you're the vice president, right? So we got the big hitters here, and they're going to tell you what the Burleson Opportunity Fund is all about, and we're going to talk about the big breakfast coming up a week from Thursday, and
so excited.
Yeah, well, it's a big deal.
It is.
And they're going to talk about a special guest we're going to have, and we'll get to that to a certain point. But I'm going to go ahead and run through the sponsors real quick so we can get to the stuff that they pay for to get on the air. Of course, we have our friend Otto at our place. It's a great place to understand to bribe children to behave in church.
That's what I do.
And that's what you do. And so, Sam, you don't want to, take advantage of that with your boys. It's a good place to say, if you behave in church, we'll have pancakes.
It is also the best Eggs Benedict in town. I've tried them all. Our place is the best.
Is that? I never had Eggs Benedict.
You got to try it there. It's
I'm very traditional. It's like what I like, It's like, and I don't get there as much as I'd like I don't want to waste this opportunity. Just like with Gina's Pizza. Speaking of Gina's Pizza, you know what today is?
What's today?
It is Chess Club Tuesdays. As I opened up Facebook, there was Chess Club Tuesdays. Now, that sounds like a rockin' party. All right, so it's from 6 to 9. I know that my guest last week.
Look at Sam.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a group at the church. We play chess together all the time.
Well, go get you some pizza. They have the ball game on. Speaking of which, today is a great day. You know why it's a great day? Baseball playoffs started. It started 10 minutes ago, in fact. So 4 games on television. Is this a great country or what?
Amen.
So no doubt, Victoria will be sprinting home to be catching the...
that game.
Yeah, that game.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Go sports.
The big game.
Yeah. So you're
I do love college football, but that's not on today.
Yeah. But anyway, so that you got the pizza, you got the chess, you got the ball game. What else can you want out of life than that? Chess. Well, anyway, so you like to play chess, do you, Sam?
I love it. Yeah. Not very good, but it's fun to play.
Well, I see. The problem is, I don't know. Is this the game that they move or you hop over each other?
Understand chess.
You can do both.
It's got the horses and the bishops, and the castles. Yeah.
So, all right.
King and queen.
Yes.
That's all I need to know.
All right. Also, thank you to our friend John Williams. Good Old Pro Roofing, 817-734-2756. I heard, I was driving to Dallas this morning for my class. I heard it's not going to rain for about 10 days, so this is a good opportunity to get your roof checked. Instead of waiting, what's that leak coming from? Mm-hmm. So it's a free inspection, and he does it all over. And he'll tell you, hey, your roof's good to go, or you have a few minor things that need to be done, or it's time to call the insurance company, and he'll help you with that. And some insurance companies, he tells me, are easier to deal with than others. There's a couple that shan't be named that he just shakes his head when they say, this is my insurance company. And there's others, he's like, oh, thank God, because they know it'll be a lot easier. Texas Farm Bureau's like that. They're very easy to work with.
They are.
Yeah, so.
They're great.
Also, we got our friend Jeff Kelly, 817-781-0546 over at the Withington Agency. Lots going on in real estate. He'll tell you what's going on with the rates. He's telling you what's going on with the properties. He's telling you what goes on just here in the county. He didn't sell just Burleson. He does a lot of business in Joshua, and Godly apparently is blowing up. So,
Yeah.
you in the city council, you all get together, all the council members from the various communities get together and, console each other. I don't know what you do.
We do have regional meetings, and I know there's a mayor's group that gets together. It helps to share ideas and pains and woes and celebrations. It's good.
Well, sometimes you think Burleson is crazy or whatever, but then you get together with these other people and say,
my
wait,
gosh,
let
yeah.
me tell you some stories. I mean, Joshua has their share. Speaking of which, on Thursday afternoon, I'm going to be talking to their superintendent.
I saw that you now have Joshua ISD on.
Yes.
I mean, they're booming.
Yes, they are, and they're going to be on semi-regularly. They usually don't do school shows during the summer because everybody's on vacation or whatnot, or they're like, I don't want to think about school. But I got a deal going on with their public relations guy, Kyle Hemdigger, and we're going to have shows on about 4 to 5 times between now and May on various aspects of Joshua ISD. But anyway, back to Jeff, since he's paying for this. Thank you. He's over at the Wethington Agency, Jeff at jeffkellyrealty.com. Again, the number is 817-781-0546. Also, my friend Al over. Oh, I keep forgetting. No, hang on. It's Tiffany. I get them backwards. Tiffany, the magazine comes out when? I guess tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it goes to 30,000 homes. You know what's on the cover yet?
I do.
I don't know.
I look forward to it in my mailbox every month.
Yeah, they got good ads. They got good articles. They get a lot of information. And if you want to see what's going on, like at that moment, and you don't have the magazine with you, it's Texas TX, locallifetx.com. I'm going too fast. Locallifetx.com, and you can see what's going on.
Yeah, they're really good about highlighting community events for everyone, not just the city, but different entities in town that are hosting things.
Yeah. Now, my friend Al over at Bass Printing, he does all the promotional products for a lot of people, and I'll include myself. I've got business cards and brochures and envelopes from him, things of that nature. You can call him at 817-616-8761 or Alrick, that's ALRICK, at bassprinting.com. He's a really interesting character. He's in my BNI club, and he's from St. Kitts, and so, but gets to go down there and hang out when the weather gets cold. Well, I'm going to St. Kitts. And like, shut up, Al. So,
darn you.
Darn you, Al, and all that other stuff. Have we got the link yet, Josh? I'm trying to get it to linked up. Oh, there we go. Okay. And as far as any nonprofits, besides ours, that night we have Next Step with their big gala coming up. And that's a big deal. It's over at the Doubletree Hotel on Alta Mesa. And we used to do a lot of dances there for the high school. Yeah. And of course, there's been like 19 different names, so I don't know which one it is. But the Next Step is a big deal with our community. This is their big fundraiser, and they're going to have speakers, and there's going to be tears, and there's going to be I'll get shaken down by Lauren Bond, who, is a precious thing. You know Lauren?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, she is. I'm like, okay, how much? Oh, well, Mr. Allard, we're going to need a kidney this time. Okay, that's how
Good
it
thing
works.
you have 2.
Yes. So, I'm going to let y'all kind of drive the bus a little bit, Daniel, since you have some things you want to make sure that we emphasize. But the thing about the Burleson Opportunity Fund is that as an ex-Hill teacher, I can't begin to tell you how many kids and parents have told me that was the only way they were going to be able to get some college hours taken care of. A lot of them, they're not really interested in going and being a Shakespeare scholar, but what they needed to have done in their careers needed an associate's of sorts, and then they can go to specialized training like EMT or something like that. And this made it possible for a lot of people that didn't have a lot of cash on hand.
I think it opens that door. The audience that we're trying to reach are those kiddos that, I don't really know what my next steps are, or they're trying to fill it out. And maybe 4-year university isn't for everyone, but it opens that door and the possibilities. And you go, okay, I got my foot in the door, and I've taken care of this class and this class. You know what? This is piquing my interest. I think I might pursue this or this. And maybe it rolls into a technical type of study, or maybe it turns into a job opportunity that you just didn't even realize was available. I have the great privilege of speaking to Hill College students pretty much every fall. The government teacher there invites us to come speak, and I always make a plug for pretty much any line of work you're considering, whether it's accounting, whether it's engineering, if it's finance, if it's even all the technical jobs. We need you at the municipal level. It may not be something that you're thinking about, but we need welders, plumbers, HVAC. We need the people that are drawing the roads as much as we need the people that are building the roads. I mean, all of those jobs. And guess what? We would love for it to be our homegrown, because then you're invested. That's the best part about celebrating the former BOF students that are now serving in our BPD. in our fire department. We have people working all throughout our community that started with the plug of BOF.
Well, I know that when it comes to municipal employment, I don't know what Burleson's is exactly, but I know many cities don't require a 4-year degree, but they do require an associate's to become a firefighter or become a cop or whatever. What's Burleson's requirements? If you're going to be a police officer, do we need to, they have to have a 4-year degree?
I won't speak specifically on that. I don't know if they have to have a degree. They'd have to go to academy. And for the most part, we send them there. But I want to say they do have to have a few hours. I don't know that it's a degree necessarily, but I think it's a commitment of so many hours to get your foot in the door.
That's what most communities ask for. They ask for like 60 hours.
Right, something like that.
Which is what an associate's degree is. And so I've had kids in my class that said, what are your plans? And most of them will say, well, I'm going to go to UTA. I'm going to go to that Tarleton branch over on the tollway or that kind of thing. But a good number of them say, I'm going to go get HVAC. I'm going to go get EMT. I'm going to do,
sometimes you don't even know. And honestly, as I get around in the community and visit with people, there's so many job opportunities that I never would have dreamt of. I'm like, you do that as a professional? Like, wow. So it just, I think furthering your education beyond K through 12 just opens up doors of possibilities.
Now, Sam, you didn't go exactly on a BOF, but you were aware of it in school. And I think when you were here last time, we were talking about this, not last week, but the time before we talked about BOF. You know, among your peers, it was becoming pretty well known. You graduated in 09?
09, that's right, yeah.
And it started in 07, right?
It was founded in 07.
I think it started. I think our first scholarship year was 09.
Right, and because I remember when my son graduated in 2010, it was becoming known, and now it's well known. And I think a lot of that has to do with people that's been on this board promoting it so much.
Right.
And so, now, Dan, you've been on it now. I've been on it as long as you have.
Yes, sir.
All right. How did they contact you? I had an ex-board member, Shandy Pretty, who's now living in Portland, Maine, which is quite a change from Texas, and she's okay with that. But they had an opening, and she said, "Oh, I know somebody," and they brought me in. How did you get brought in?
Got lucky.
Yeah, well, of course, we got lucky.
We sure did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, no. So as a local entrepreneur, I attend a lot of networking groups, and Kayla Huffman over at Sierra Bank was in there talking to us. And,
Kayla Joe.
Yeah, and had a great conversation, and the rest is history.
Well, and how about you, Sam? How did you get hooked up?
It's this guy's fault. Daniel and I are good buddies. We met at the gym, Burleson Recreation Center. Mutual friend, Ricky Estes.
Who's now on the board, right?
Yeah.
Just as of last week, or last meeting.
Yeah.
Happy to have him on. And Daniel and I got to talking and got to know each other. And he saw my heart for the community. And whenever there were board seats available, he asked me if I'd be interested in joining. And I said yes. And it was a good decision.
Yeah. And even though Sam didn't receive he's not a BOF recipient, your story is so closely aligns with like a lot of the kids that we capture. And I love it because it was somebody putting the bug on you going, this is like, let's just get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Maybe college, you thought college wasn't your next step, but.
And he ended up marrying this person.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
She's wise.
Yes.
Very wisely.
I had no idea what I wanted to study going in. I had no thoughts for my future, was very aimless, directionless. And that first year in higher education at Hill College, when it first opened up in Burleson, figured out what I wanted to do, which back then was business entrepreneurship and real estate. And that shifted in my second year of school. So it took me 2 years to really figure out what I wanted to do. But at least I had some direction after that first year.
That's very common, though, because when I went to Baylor, my first thought I was going to be a stockbroker. And then I found out what that entailed. Yeah. Well, what had happened is I went as a senior in high school, my class went to a Merrill Lynch office, and we saw this, and I saw the everything going on, and everybody making money, and the good-looking women. And I thought, this is it for me, buddy.
This is my path.
Yeah. Well, and then I go down there and find out, really, I got to get the bird dog clients and all that, and forget it. So I wanted to be a banker, and I did financial analysis for a couple of years, and then I got into teaching. So I talk to a lot of kids that don't know what they're going to do, and I tell them that's okay. People change their careers a lot during their lifetime.
Yeah.
So I say, the fact that you don't have a path already laid out for you. In fact, I think that's not even a good thing, because I got into business because, well, that's what my dad did. That's what I thought it'd make me money. I thought, doesn't everybody get a business degree? And that wasn't really the best choice for me. So, I like it when the kids have options or flexible in their ideas.
A little life experiences.
That helps.
100%. You always hear of those people that go back to get their master's or their PhD later because they have perspective then. And it's like, had I known, I would go this route.
Yeah.
And I think
Me
that's
too.
another advantage of the BOF. You can stay local and you can still have your family, your network, your community surrounding you and supporting you while you're making these potentially life-altering decisions. Like, okay, I'm going to study this and I'm going to go this path. And you're not just out there floundering on your own. And I think that's how some students, they jump off, like, I want to go to a 4-year university, and they go out there and they're like, whoa, you're out kind of just, no one's asking you, did you complete this homework assignment? No one's checking in with you
Gotta do
to
your
make
own
sure,
laundry.
to make sure just those simple things are taken care of. And you kind of you can get overwhelmed, you can get lost. And I saw it happen to a number of people by that second semester or by the second year. They decided, I'm going to go back home for a little bit and I'm going to study from the comfort of my house and, go to the local school. And that's okay. Because when, that was the encouraging piece of the BOF is not just your family supporting you, but this is an entire community backing you up, saying, I own a small business here and I believe in you. And I'm going to be here to support you on this journey and cheer you on. And I'm invested in you as a person, but not just because you're from here, but because I want to see what your potential is right here in town.
Well, here's also the thing is most of my students, particularly the night students, all had jobs.
Yeah.
And most of them had jobs in the area, Burleson, Joshua, Alvarado, whatever. And so they would work and go to school.
You're right.
Even the full-timers, a lot of them had jobs.
Oh my gosh. I attended the Full Circle Women's Conference last week that the Chamber puts on. Awesome speakers. And I recruited Fatin to go with me because I was like, you'll like this. This is right up your alley.
She loved it.
But Colin Gregory spoke and he said, like, he earned this scholarship for TCU, and he was like, this is my dream. I've always wanted to go to TCU, and with his GI Bill and everything. And then he's like talking to an administrator and he's like, okay, so what's your options for night classes? And she just looked at him and said, we don't have night classes.
Right.
And it's like, I had never thought about, like,
Most of your major universities don't.
that is crazy to me. And not that I needed that, but like, so many people work and need that job. And I was fortunate. I got to work on campus when I was in college. I worked there for the attorney. And so it was super convenient. Like, jump over, take my classes, jump over, go to work for a couple of hours and go back to classes or the library.
Well, at Baylor, a 5 o'clock class was considered a late class.
That's what she told him was something like, we end at 6.
Yeah,
like,
I don't remember any of my peers. I know I never did. Went to a class after dark, and that kind of thing. And so that's the advantage of Hill.
Yep.
And the expense of college has gotten so ridiculous. Your youngins coming up, Audrey and
I'm
Oliver.
scared.
Yeah, they're going to have to
we
rob
had
a
to
few
start
banks.
their college funds. I'm sure, Sam, y'all are doing things similar, and you guys with Amelia. And
Yeah,
I mean,
you're probably going to have, Philip's going to have to get 2 jobs.
he has multiple, he will tell you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, and how old is your daughter?
Yeah, so we actually have a 19-year-old that is attending Hill College. We have a severely autistic daughter that's turning 14 in October. And then we have a pleasant surprise that is 8 years old.
That's his pride.
Yeah. But I don't have to tell you all about college expenses. And because I helped put my kids through school, and I just recently finished paying off a loan that I took out on their behalf. I mean, I paid it off, about 3 or 4 months ago, and it's like, it's amazing. And I look at the debts that my kids have. I guess if I had to do it over again, in 2010 and 2013, the expenses are starting to rise, but they're not like they are in 2025. And if I had kids y'all's age now, I'd definitely be looking at dual enrollment and AP and all this other stuff that you can knock out those kind of classes, and then maybe a year at Hill, and then we go to whatever dream university you want to talk about, and back in 1980, we didn't think these kind of thoughts.
Yeah.
And we didn't have community college as easily obtainable as it is now. Most of my peers would have to go to Richland College, which is over in East Dallas, and it was like a 45-minute drive. We didn't have Collin County Community or any of that stuff. So we're very fortunate. It's literally right down the street.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, you could walk to it. Some of my students did. Mm-hmm. You know, they could walk to class.
And now it has such a nice facility, very different from the OG First United Methodist Church.
Oh, I remember. I remember the hallways. Those classrooms.
Our Rotary Club used to meet there on Fridays at 7 a.m. in their
Family Life Center. Yeah, it's about the size of this
big
room.
Space. But it's so nice now. They have a very nice little library area. They will bring books in. I noticed all you have to do is request, a certain book from the main library, and they'll send it over to this campus. I mean,
Smart.
Well, it's interesting because in 1990, when I moved from Hughes Middle School to the high school, I was teaching in room 127, which is now 109. But it basically, when they opened up that new wing, I was teaching 2 doors down from where I taught 30-something years ago. But it didn't look anything like it, And there's no lockers for one thing, and it's much nicer.
And that building used to have a smell.
Yeah. Well,
It did. My brother was forced for a little while. BISD tried out intermediate, so we had 5th and 6th at the old high school. My dad, I remember going to meet the teacher, and he's like, "What have we done? Step back in time."
Well, it smelled like a lot of disinfectant.
I don't think so. I think
salt.
it smelled like sewage back then.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, no.
Well, but it really is. I mean, when you can walk to your college classes,
It's cool.
or ride a bike. I mean, how many communities can say that?
Yep.
I mean, you go to the one in Cleveland. I taught at the Cleveland campus several times. It's a nice campus.
It is.
For what it is,
But there's nothing out there.
No. Well, there is now.
Now.
They're building
There's
a huge apartment complex.
Oh,
but
wow.
I mean, it's really big. So maybe that'll change things. But as far as before, there was nothing around it at all. And so, and not that I expected, have, all this entertainment venues or whatever across the street, but you can't even go get a cup of coffee, And so,
Well, at Burleson's Higher Education Center, you can get a fast taco.
Fast taco.
And that will
And a
carry you-
Whataburger.
And a Whataburger. I mean, any of those things will carry you through the rest of the day.
Absolutely.
As a college kid, you're like, I need a taquito, or I can't carry on.
oh, bless your heart. But so this is what Hill offers. But now I think we should talk about what the community, if they want to keep this going, what they can do to make this happen. All right. So you Daniel, take it away from. Tell us about the event coming up and registration and what we expect and on and on and on.
Absolutely. No, so the Burleson Opportunity, the breakfast coming up is an annual event. It's going to be next Thursday on October 9th. It's going to start at 7:30 a.m. And as you can see on your screen, here's the information. You can use the QR code to please register.
Where would they find that QR code if not on that screen? Is it on the website?
So it is on the website, burlesonopportunityfund.org.
Org, okay.
Yes, sir.
Net, org, com. I can't keep you straight.
Yep. So, so typically, that's it. So go in there, register, and we're going to have some really delicious food. We're changing things up a little bit this year. So we're having some high-end food brought in, some tasty coffee, good drinks.
Oh, good. Sam has coffee.
We'll keep it kid
if it's not too
temperature.
hot.
No, kid temperature. We'll have a special area
Well,
just
here's
for
by the way, you talk about a breakfast. I went to my first one last year, and it isn't like everybody line up at the buffet table and you throw some eggs and some bacon on there. No, the tables are weighted by.
Well, this year we're changing it up.
Oh, I mean, I have to get my own food.
Yes.
Oh man.
But it's going to be really nice.
Yeah, okay, fine. Whatever.
You'll want to visit the food table.
We've got some great partnerships for the food.
Oh, gosh.
That we're bringing in. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, Jamie at Texas Old Brewery has done an amazing job with the menu. Jennifer over at First Baptist Church do amazing things, and they're taking some favorite things off the menu, bringing it for a high-end charcuterie bar, and that's a fancy word for buffet, right?
Yeah.
Way to rain on it. Go back to the other word.
Charcuterie.
There we go.
Charcuterie. See, we don't mess around here. So it's going to be, but again, it's not going to be like. You talk about breakfast and all this sort of stuff. Usually, it's like the mass-produced stuff that everybody can handle. It's like, we have lunch and it's pizza.
It's going to be scratch kitchen.
No, it's going to be higher end.
It is going to be fantastic.
We really want the children. The recipients. Sorry, I'm almost 50, so they're all children.
Yeah, they'll always be kids.
Yeah, they're always kids. I'm like, what are they doing driving?
Well, how about this one? She's got kids of her own. I'm like, I remember
He was
she's
my high
16.
school economics
and now
teacher.
she's.
Yeah,
Now she's,
here we are.
Yeah.
She's 21.
Yeah.
But really, one thing we were focusing on as a organization, we want the kids to interact with our visitors. We want the donors and the sponsors to see this is where our money is going. And, you know,
And that connection for the kids too.
absolutely.
Like our community is investing in you.
Absolutely. That's part of my speech. That
Sorry.
day. It's okay.
Apologize.
That's okay. It's
Haven't even read it.
Yeah.
Same.
There it is. But, you know, a lot of people in our community do not realize that we have given out over 2,200 scholarships since the inception.
That's amazing.
We've given over 34,000 college credit hours. Yeah, here we go. And over 94% of every dollar we receive go back to the recipients. And that's amazing.
Well, we're not getting paid to do this, so there's there's very little overhead. Most of the overhead is for like publicity.
Yep.
And it's breakfast.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
And that's
Putting on events to
put on
raise
it.
more money.
Yeah,
To
so but-
leverage. We're leveraging those
At
dollars.
94%, it's a pretty high figure. I wonder, you know, a lot of our nonprofits also have very good ratios as well.
Sure.
But
So-
94%, I bet, is very competitive, to say the least.
Yes.
So actually, the number on that 65 to 75% is what other nonprofits typically capture.
So if people think that, you know, the four of us or anybody else are living it up,
We don't get paid.
about the only thing we get out of it is a sandwich.
Yeah.
Hey,
Stone
that's
Soup
right.
makes good sandwiches.
It's a good sandwich.
Yeah, that right there is incentive. Like, do I want to go? Yeah, I want to go. Stone Soup sandwiches are there, you know, and I'll take one home with me, and my wife will have one, and because she loves that place.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing place.
But it is, you know, but that's a really good number though, because people. Some people are a little bit more cynical about these kind of things. So, how much money are you getting out? Well, we can
Well, because you
doodah
hear
out
about
of
those
it.
big national organizations
Right.
and their CEOs make a lot of money. We don't have a CEO. This is a volunteer board.
This
We
is-
are
this is
all
it right here.
involved
Labor
in our
of love.
community.
Daniel
we
is the
serve in the
CEO.
local church.
Yes.
We own, you know, a local business. We teach at the local school. I mean, we're all just invested in our community. We're servants, and that's why we're a part of this board, because we care. We care about how this community grows and develops, and we want it to be for all the youth that grow up here to find something for them, but continue to serve in our hometown. And my favorite thing is what it says at the bottom.
Yeah,
that
I was
our
looking at that
students
too.
achieve a higher grade point average than the Texas state average. So for those kiddos that do, you know, jump off and say, I'm going away to a 4-year, and knowing that that may not be the best fit for them, or there may be, you know, it's an adjustment. But the kids that are able to stay home, stay with their community, stay with that support system, well, they're historically going to be more successful.
I had day class. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to touch on Victoria's point. Man, you're
Okay, good.
just nailing it. I love your
Well,
passion.
she's
awesome.
a natural salesperson. What can I say?
Hey, you said it. No, the Texas average is a 2.41.
Ooh, I beat the average. Hey, barely, but I did.
A W is a W. But our BOF recipients are an average of 2.66.
Well, you know, it's not so much I could pick around a crowd. You're BOF and you're not, but almost everyone that I knew was BOF were better students because they were incentivized enough in high school to have a certain GPA, incentivized enough to investigate and get involved in this, as opposed to just kind of floating through school. Here's a piece of paper with your name on it. It says a diploma. Is that what that says? Okay, good. And then they just said, well, I got nothing better to do, so I'm going to float into Hill College, and it beats working for a living. But most of the BOF kids are more intentional about their education.
Well, and that's a great point. And sir, if you'll go to the next slide. So, you know, speaking of people with a direction and where we've gone, right? So this gentleman, Connor Prince, is an Olympian medalist. And so he was a BOF recipient, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. So Victoria
It
and I
was
had
fun.
we had the opportunity and the pleasure to sit down with him. He's so generous and gracious.
Which school did he go to? Because I don't. It must have. Is it
Centennial.
Okay, so that's why I didn't.
He was a
call the name.
CHS grad,
Yeah.
2018, I believe.
Yeah, well, he's after retired anyway.
And I don't want to do a spoiler alert, but I will say one thing that it was an aha moment for us in the interview with him. We did a video. Was if it was not for the BOF, I don't know that I would be where I am today.
Yep.
Because the opportunities allow me to stay home, to work, and go to school, and pursue my dream of being an Olympian. I wouldn't be here today.
Well, you mentioned this at a meeting, and the way you described it sounded like it just occurred to him as he was saying it.
It seemed that way. Like he's just telling us just genuinely, and then he just like goes, well, I probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't. I mean, it gave me chills. It was awesome.
Well,
because it's like you don't even realize some things just line up, right?
Correct.
I want to go back just for 1 second and talk about, give some credit. you were talking about the BOF students kind of stand out as, having, I think the network of the BOF, there's so much more than just, we don't just write a check to Hill College on a student's behalf, but Jason Hahn at Centennial High School is
he's amazing.
Supporting these students, and not just for Centennial, but he's out of Centennial. But I mean, he's connected with these kids. He's emailing them, calling them, getting them and encouraging them along the way. He's helping them with their FAFSA, and that's something that stumps a lot it can be overwhelming.
You make a mistake on FAFSA, your life is in trouble. Because first time I did FAFSA, I over-reported income, which is a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I said, I did not know that was exempt from reporting. It was your retirement funds, right?
Oh, okay.
You don't have to report your retirement funds. They're just asking for monthly or yearly income.
Right.
And so I realized that about 6 hours later, and it took me almost 5 weeks to unwind that problem.
Eeks.
But here's another thing is, like, my last few years at BHS, I retired in 2016. The last 2 or 3 years, the word of mouth of BOF really took off. And I had seniors that said that, they had changed their plan. They were going to go to UT Arlington or something like that. I said, I'm going to hold that off a couple of years and do the BOF instead.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot cheaper. And if y'all going to pay for it, why not?
Sure.
That kind of thing. And so.
But you also have this support. We're not just leaving you out there to dangle on your own. It's like, okay, look, they have advisors that they are required with the BOF program. They are required to meet with those advisors.
And I had to report to them.
Yeah.
As a teacher, I get emails saying, how is so-and-so doing? And I have a list of them usually, and I'd have to do like progress reports. So if people think that we're paying for college and these kids are just loafing around, I could promise you that's not the case. Right. They have an accountability.
There's checkpoints, and there's accountability, and there's follow-up and follow-through. And when you take that big leap, and it is a big leap from graduating high school to going into to further your education, no matter what route that may be, you're out there on a limb. Sometimes you feel like,
oh, well, yeah.
You don't know what you don't know.
Well, when I went back to UTA to get teaching certification and all that, I definitely was on my own. I mean, I saw the degree plan or the certification plan and all the hours that I need to do, blah, blah, blah. And if I hadn't known how to navigate that on my own, I'd probably still be in school somewhere. But but the point is that I know for a fact that Hill supports their students because particularly in the new location, the counselor was 40 feet from me, and I'd walk in early, and she'd say, "How are these people doing?" Just on an informal basis, it wasn't like I'm filling out a form or there was some documentation going on. She'd say, "Hey, how's so and so doing in class?" "Oh, they're fine," and that kind of thing. So there was that level of attention being paid,
and genuine interest and an investment in these kids.
That's what I would tell anybody not in the community. Hopefully, this will get some views and some listens and whatnot. I would tell anybody in the community, if you think you're subsidizing a lifestyle of, well, I don't have anything else better to do. That's not the case here. I mean, what you're doing is making an opportunity for these kids that probably would be more difficult at best for them to achieve. I had BOF kids flame out. Sure, I did, but not nearly to the percentage of the non-BOF students. I'll put it that way. I would say the flame out rate for me was about 1 in 10, maybe, or less than that even, maybe 1 in 15.
That's powerful.
Yeah, because most of them, particularly during the day classes, is a younger crowd. Most of the time, if the BOF crowd, if they didn't make it, quite often it wasn't academic reasons. It was they were married or single parent or job situation, and that's
life.
Life happened, and they couldn't finish the school. So as far as like academically flaming out, I bet it's less than 1 in 20.
Amazing.
So and that's not. I may be even exaggerating that. So so the community, when they give money to this, they're getting a real return, a very big return. How many communities have this program?
Not many that I know of.
I don't know anybody else.
So Cleveland has a similar, not quite the same, but they have a similar program, but they go down into lower grades and do things with that. But other than that, I'm not aware of anything.
What do you mean lower grades?
So they're getting involved with the schools and supporting with donations and supporting kids with dual credits and things.
Oh,
Not
okay.
dual credits, but I mean.
Well, that is one thing I was asked about a couple of times. Does BOF apply to high
Dual
school
credit.
dual credit. It does not.
It does not.
But you're not paying for it either, are you? Or you're paying for some, but it's not. But dual credit is not part of the BOF plan, and I don't think it should be. I mean, that's not how it works. But I was talking to I mentioned the guy before my contact now at Joshua ISD, and I told him we were just chit chatting about schools, and this came up, and it's like, you have a program to send kids to school? Yes, we do. Well, I wish we had that over here. Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, and I think you bring up a great point. I think the BOF is an amazing program. It's a really good program, but I think we're going to, with the focus of the future, change is good. We're going to go from a good organization to great. We just have to align some focuses and execute on those. But I think getting the community involved, because I talked to a lot of people through the community, and when I ask them about the BOF, we've done a really good job educating the community, and then there's opportunity there to educate more and bring more people in. And even local businesses, they want to get involved, they just don't know how. They don't know what we're about. And so really, but creating those relationships with surrounding communities, our footprint, our impact can be so much greater than what we do in Burleson, and helping surrounding communities and being a model for that, amongst other ideas that we'd like to focus on moving forward in the future.
You know, and also I'm asked about who is eligible to receive this. They're not strictly Centennial or BHS or Crossroads graduates.
If you live in the city limits of Burleson,
Right.
you are eligible. If you're a homeschool graduate, if you're a CHS graduate, if you're a collegiate graduate, whatever it may be.
Well, that brings up a point. You said the city limits of Burleson. Well, we got many people that live in Burleson City, but Joshua
ISD. And we have had Joshua students.
Okay, so somebody that lives technically in Burleson but goes to JISD is still eligible.
Correct.
Okay, like you live in Joshua, right?
That's
Or,
right. Well, I
you
live in Burleson, but Joshua School District.
Boy, yeah, and I think Joshua ISD's got our number on this, because they said we need to build a new school. Who's going to pay for all the infrastructure? Oh, let's put it in the city of Burleson. is that, you're not saying, why does he say nothing over here? Is that possible? That happens?
Yeah, it's happening. I mean,
that cracks me up.
We knew it was a possibility, right? Like someday in the future, Joshua ISD owns land over here, and then all of a sudden they pass a bond, and it goes through, and now it's steamrolling, and it's like, oh, okay, we gotta get that road built.
So we have like 3 elementary schools right next to each other. They're all in Burleson city limits, but
they're not all right next to each other. But they're close. But that's the area that's growing, all that west side of Burleson into Joshua.
So a lot of people assume it's just those 2 high schools, or maybe the alternative school as well. But it's Burleson residents, because I don't know how many kids go to private schools, but I know a lot of Burleson kids are homeschooled.
Yep.
I mean, it's really funny when I see some ex-student or whatever say, so, what school is your kid going to? Well, we were homeschooling, because they're thinking they're going to hurt my feelings or something like that. And I said, no, it didn't matter to me. I mean, great, good for you. All right, rock on. But it's like
kudos to them, because during 2020, when I was forced to homeschool, I was terrible.
Well, Amelia was like this. Like, can I homeschool? We're like, no.
I will volunteer all I can in the school to help teachers be able to focus on the kids. I'm like, you need your bulletin board? Got you.
Yeah.
You need a coffee run? Got you. Glue this stuff together? I'm on it. But you do what you were gifted to do, which is teach, and that's phenomenal.
The main reason, to kind of finish this part off about homeschooling, the 2 main reasons that kids, ex-students, tell me that they're homeschooling is, they want to have a spiritual component that you can't get in a public school. They want to have a church-based education or something like that, faith-based. Second, their child has some sort of special condition, health issue, maybe some other disability, mobility issues, whatever. And that way, it's just easier. So, but I don't hear hardly ever, Burleson schools or Joshua schools stink. Therefore, it's almost always either they want faith as part of the curriculum or they have some other situation.
Okay.
And so,
I think Burleson schools are fantastic. I'm a product of them. My children go to them. Your kiddo goes to them.
Absolutely. Love them.
And I would endorse it, because, it's like any other school. You're going to have some kids that really, flounder a bit, but you also have some kids that are going to go to the best schools in the country. I had kids that were going to military academies, Ivy League schools, the best schools in the state, and then I look at them now, like Victoria here, very successful, member of our community and things like that. And I think a lot of it has something to do with BHS.
It sure did.
You know,
It planted seeds.
Yeah,
I think that, and also it goes back to community. And I always say this of like, my teachers that were then, or my mentors, the people, it wasn't just my parents that brought me up. It was a community that made me who I am and have the passions and interests that I do.
Well, I have to say you brought those with you though, because what you're doing now, I would have guessed 20 years ago because you're involved in the city and being a member of the city council, and I figured you'd be school board member or city council
That's
or something
later.
like that later,
Yeah.
or something like that. I knew you weren't just going to be a very
I love
passive.
to serve. But that's what I hope we're
But
planting.
you don't see that honestly though, Victoria. You don't see that in 16, 17-year-old kids that often because they don't think about it in those terms, and then when they get to be adults, they life hits them.
Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
no,
you were, I think,
couldn't get it out of me. I was like, okay, I'm coming back.
You were a little ahead of the curve on that, and so, but anyway, back to the
Well,
Yeah.
and if I may, the schools are amazing. From our kids, went through Kerr and Branson, and special shout out to the special ed teachers because so my wife and I have a 14. Well, she'll be
Amen and
14.
amen.
Oh gosh, but so she is severely autistic, very destructive, and the teachers. So the comparison is our called ABA centers where autistic children go to get therapy and help them with life skills and things. They won't take her, but the schools say bring her on. We will support her. We will help her with her life skills. And so to have that passion and that support, like it speaks volumes
Yes.
of what they do. And so thank you to the special ed.
And there's a number of teachers in BISD and JISD that came through BOF. And we have a principal at Centennial that we've highlighted before, Holly. I mean,
who is this? That is the principal who used to BOF.
Yep. Her name's Holly, and I can't think of Peggy Stevens' daughter. I can't think about her name. She's a banker. Do you know Peggy? And Chip Stevens.
Right.
Everybody knows Peggy and
Yeah,
Chip.
Chip.
Yes.
Yeah. Chip was in my first graduating class, and we still run.
Really?
Oh yeah, he
That's
was.
so funny. We've highlighted Holly's story because BOF got her in the door, and she became a teacher, and now she went back to school to become an administrator.
But that's exactly what we're talking about, right? That's what we want to do is we want to support our kids to come back and realize that this is their community supporting you.
Yes.
This is where we want you. This is where we need you. And the BOF provides that level of support. And when you see your community behind you and those local entrepreneurs and large businesses saying, we're here for you, part of your academic journey, that's powerful.
It is.
And I absolutely love that. And, Holly over there at Centennial, I mean, that's amazing. That's a product.
It is amazing. Have somebody in that kind of position, and she obviously must be fairly young to be because BOF hadn't been around
Younger than
forever.
me.
Yeah, well, I never did care to be an administrator because I figured I don't want to deal with people like me. And so
She's gifted.
Yeah,
She's
so,
phenomenal.
but-
Her energy that she brings, it's palpable when you go into Centennial.
now on this breakfast deal,
Yes, sir.
let's say you can't make it for whatever reason, you can still donate. Obviously,
Sure.
On that QR code, is there a place do we have to receive donations?
So not that QR code, but on the website, burlesonopportunityfund.org, there is an area to donate. We will send you an invoice, and you'll be able to have your tax receipt in serving our community, serving our
It's
kids.
like any other nonprofit. You click the button, put the amount in, put your financial information,
Easy
and,
peasy.
your credit card or
Sam,
whatever.
I know you've touched on our numbers about how much does it cost for a year of classes for a BOF student. Is
First,
it like
do you need more
four?
coffee? Or are you good?
No, I got enough coffee. Yeah, I've run through the numbers, and there's a lot of factors. So the BOF is what's called a last dollar scholarship. And so students who qualify for other scholarships, for Pell Grants, things like that, the BOF will cover whatever the remainder is. For some students, that is the full amount. They don't receive Pell Grants. They don't have other scholarships, so we're paying the full amount for that. Others, we're covering the last dollar. And what it averages out to per student is $2,909
Can
for
you
the
be more
year.
precise?
No, I can't.
Okay,
It's
all
the
right.
exact dollar amount.
$29.09.
$2,909 per student for the year. So that's fall and spring semesters. I can't divide that in half in my head. I'm so sorry. I will try to.
But that's a bargain. I mean, when you think about
for
you're
years.
staying home and you're getting to knock out these beginner classes that everybody has to take care of, right? And but it also gives you that introductory. You're surrounded by other people that are equally studying and trying to figure out their paths. maybe they light some kind of interest in you. But not only all that, go back to the businesses that are surrounding you and supporting you and saying, I want to be involved and come learn about my business. You know, I support the BOF and I have such and such widget business here in Burleson.
Well, and to your point, so we haven't discussed this as a board, and this is not official, but I've had businesses approach me and say, hey, do you have mentorship programs? How can I get in there and mentor these, help mentor these kids and help them find that path? And so I think our voice is getting louder and louder within our community, and people are stepping forward and saying, hey, how do I be part of that? How do I help mentor? Not just cut a check,
Right.
but how do I help create vision and on that path?
But we'll take the check.
Yeah,
We still need the check, but you know, we do have leaders, business leaders in this community. Bill Metke he was a longtime sponsor. He owns KWS Manufacturing. He needed bodies.
Sure.
You know, so many of these
Penny
business,
Johnson, CEO of Hughley Hospital.
100%. The nurses
Strongly
and
involved.
people
Yes.
in our we need healthcare workers of every kind, and she's like. Of course, we want them. Like, we're right here, we're local, and we would love to have our workforce come from the community that we're serving in.
It does make a difference because I guess sometimes we if you hang around Burleson long enough, you know, we think every community is like this, and it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It is not at all. I mean, the nonprofit sector of our community is phenomenal, and we have a lot of people doing a lot of great things, including BOF. And you know, and I have talked to people from other communities, and they're like, well, we have a food pantry, and that's about it. You know, they don't have anything like Crazy Eights. They don't have anything like Next Step, and they don't have anything like this.
But I think that also comes to people like you. Like, you are one of our social media gurus. But no, you are constantly supporting the BOF and pushing things out there because it creates awareness. And so we're thankful for that.
Well,
and that's
quite all right, certainly.
And I think that was a piece of this breakfast. Like, it does not cost you anything to attend our breakfast. We want you in the doors, and we want you to be exposed to the success stories that we have. And this is just a glimpse. This is just a peep of all the amazing lives that we're touching through the BOF. But then feel compelled to, you know, hopefully give something back, and we will stretch those dollars.
There'll be an ask, and I think everybody that attends these things understand that. I mean, we've gone to these things before, and we understand it's not just a free breakfast and a little entertainment or whatever, and they understand that the whole purpose is to raise money. So people will be there. If they haven't donated already, they will that day.
Hopefully.
Well, and it's a great breakfast. It's a great reflection of what we've done and where we're going. It's a great opportunity to network within your community. I mean, you have council members, you have the city mayor, you have the police chief, you have all these individuals, and Penny Johnson, the CEO of Hughley Hospital, Travis from McLean Foods. I mean, we have all these people that care about their community they're supporting. This is not just, you know, just local families, but it is also local families joining us. And so it's so powerful on multiple levels.
And another thing I would bring out, and I say this with all the nonprofits, don't be intimidated by the fact that McLean Foods may be able to drop a lot more than you can. You know, $50 goes a long way.
It does.
Yes, it does.
You know, and I talk to all these nonprofits, and they say that, you know, what really makes their organizations work isn't the one-time big gift, but it's the continual small gifts.
The golden gooses.
Yeah, and they'll take the big gift, obviously, but they really want the continual givers, whatever. Do you have like a systematic setup, so to speak, on BOF, like
Reoccurring?
Reoccurring,
We
yeah.
do.
Oh yeah, because like when I do others, I don't have to even think about it. Boom, it's the 15th. There it is on the credit card, and
Right.
whatever. And do you have that kind of system set up?
So not in place, but that is definitely a conversation we've had where we want to focus on more of the micro donations, and maybe you can only give $10 a month. Great.
Yeah,
But
I promise
But
you.
over the course of 12 months,
I
thank you.
promise
if you have
you,
2,000 people doing that,
if you had a recurring system, you will make more money.
Yep.
For a lot of people say, well, I don't have $250, but I do have $20 a month.
Right.
It's the same amount, right? Roughly. Yeah, I'm not going to ask Sam to do the math. And but I'm saying it's roughly the same amount, but you know, $20 is a lot less.
small numbers turn into big numbers.
They do.
And and you're exactly right. A lot of people focus on the $1,000 deposits, 15,000, whatever. Those are we're thankful for those, but we see a lot more of the smaller donations coming in. And what's great is on the financial side, you see people giving with their heart. You know, you see the elderly giving, you see whatever. And if it's a $15 donation, it's like, thank you.
It's the widow's mite.
Well, we have to brag on our biggest donor are the teachers and staff from BISD. And they do they collect those funds throughout the year by doing those $5 jean days.
You'd be amazed how much we pay to wear jeans. I never did understand that.
I hear you. And you wear that sticker on that day that says I supported the BOF, and I wore my jeans today, or my T-shirt instead of a dress shirt today to support it. That to me speaks volumes of our community. That our teachers that brought us up K through 12 are dedicating that $5, that $10, that $25 back into the success of their students. They don't want you to just stop at 12th grade. They want you to continue on.
Well, they had a program, and maybe they still do, that you could, click the box, whatever, and they'll deduct $20.
Yeah, they still have
it.
Yeah, for out of your
And it's
gross.
impactful. So our largest donor are PISD employees.
So the BISD has that set up through there, and they cut us one check, but it is a bunch of micro donations
Right.
accumulated in through that.
I promise you, if you wanted to, raise money, sell jeans days to teachers, it's like, just
To
wear.
anyone. I remember Miss Patsy.
Yeah.
She retired from First National Bank, and they have Jean Day there. And she would do the same thing. She's like, I pay my $5 today to be able to wear my jeans. I mean,
love Miss Patsy.
it goes beyond just.
I always thought if you had like an open bar in the teachers' lounge, you would make a ton of money for BOF.
Sell iced coffee in the drop-off line in the morning at school. I think that we're missing the boat. If we served iced coffee and have like 3 syrups options.
Sounds like community hours to me.
Well, that we always thought about doing stuff like that, having like a entrepreneurial type arrangement where kids have like a coffee shop on campus and kids can go buy coffee, and it'd be like teaching kids how to run a business and the kids get coffee. But it was kind of hard to maintain year after year because the students are always changing.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they may do that now, but I know that Alan DeBose, who was doing their business, I think he's retired or is about to be, they started doing that with school supplies, doing kind of like running a micro business there.
That's genius.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is that we sell school supplies in a packet, and all I have to do is write a $40 check.
Amen. Well, and one thing that we can do better as a community is or as a board, is create community at large members. We have people that want to get involved, but they don't know where or how, or they're like, well, I don't really want to commit to a board. But we need people out there like, hey, yeah, I can go do a school function. So my point is, if there's anyone listening, or if anyone knows anyone that wants to be a community at large member, we would welcome them. And additionally, we're going to be looking for additional board seats over the next few months. And, it's just such a great cause.
We need bodies that are passionate about our youth, our community, our economic development, and how we prosper here in Burleson. We need you. We need boots on the ground.
Yep.
Well, raising money for any cause takes commitment and consistency. And I've learned that pretty much, that raising money, all these nonprofits will tell you, is 24/7. And that's just the name of the game. And it's like any other business, I guess, revenue. But it's you need somebody that's going to do it not because that's their job, but because that's what they want to do, and that's a different situation entirely.
It's a labor of love.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I know COVID set us back a little bit. I think we're still somewhat in recovery mode, but we're not the only ones that COVID put a hammer on. So, but we're going to get. I'm very confident within the next 12 to 18 months, we'll probably be able to expand BOF a little bit.
We have a lot of exciting ideas. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to discuss.
Right. I mean, it's just conversations right now.
Yeah, but I think I'm confident to say that what you've seen over since 2008 to current, you're going to see a difference moving forward. We just brought on 6 board members, fresh blood, excited to be part of the community.
Jennifer Wood's going to be a very big help to us. She's very good at community relations and that kind of thing.
Her and I spoke this morning about a few things, and then Jennifer Woods, Ricky Estes, Drew Ivey. Drew Ivey used to be a professor at DBU. So we won't hold that against them. But
Hey. Go Patriots.
So, but we have some amazing entrepreneurs, Deanna Foster and James Hardwood, not Hardwood. Anyways, we call them Abe. But we have some amazing people that we are wanting to execute and take things.
Wait a minute. Say that again. We have some great, amazing people we want to execute?
No, sir. No, sir.
Wow, you really have a high standard. I'll get some more money on the table if that's the case.
Wow. Thank you. Nice. Execute on the vision.
Oh, okay.
Execute on ideas. Yeah, because we just can't have a room full of ivory tower leadership. We need those creative ideas, but we also have to execute on the ideas. And so that's what we're seeing in the future, amongst other ideas, creating partnerships with other nonprofits, people within the community, people that want to mentor. It's really encouraging to see those things. So
Yeah. Well, we're getting close to the end, so I'm going to do my little community radio thing. This will be on at 6 o'clock tonight and 1 o'clock tomorrow. So hopefully people that are driving home or whatever can tune in or Live 365. I always have the links on Facebook. Maybe you can check it out. So that's a good way of getting the word out a little bit. This will be on YouTube. This will be, as soon as I get home, I do all this stuff to get it out there on multiple platforms, like 9 or 10 different Facebook pages. So we'll have some good coverage. But as far as the breakfast, you do need to register. There's no tickets involved. We need to know you're coming, so we won't overproduce or underproduce breakfast.
well, in worst case scenario, if you just can't get to it, we will register you in the foyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to turn anybody away if they said, "Oh, I didn't know I had to do that," or something like that. Hey, we'll do it
We
right
just
then.
want you to come in the door and
Just
hear about
get your buns in the
BOF.
door.
Don't
right?
forget the checkbook. That's all.
No, don't forget the checkbook. Is right. Bring that credit card, bring that checkbook. Bring gold doubloons if you have them. We'll take anything practically. So,
Yeah,
but-
absolutely.
and-
We're really excited. I mean, it's really a great event. It's a strong event. We have a strong turnout.
there'll be a lot of the big wheels of Burleson are there. I bet most of the city
Victoria will
council
be there.
I'll be
that's
there.
that's enough right there.
That's it. That's all we need.
That's but also
And Sam.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Can't
yes,
forget.
He honestly brings a big crowd.
and there are going to be city leaders, school leaders, business leaders, stuff like that. So
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's we have some very prominent individuals that are big founders or not founders, supporters of the BOF. So it's a little intimidating, but at the end of the day, we're here to serve our community.
we want everyone. I mean, this is going to take us all
It's a community.
Yeah, it is a community effort.
It's not titles. It's not anything. It's our community.
Yeah, it's people that are raising kids, have raised kids, are invested in this community, enjoy shopping, eating, and doing business here. We need everyone to continue to make us a success.
Yeah. I'm always surprised by the number of students that graduate from a Burleson school and then come back to live in this community. My wife and I are an example of that. But I think that BOF is a great reason why that happens.
Well, I could tell you my first 10 years here, when I was teaching in the 90s, that was not the thought of Burleson students. They wanted to get the heck out of Dodge, and because there wasn't anything for them, and it wasn't anything for young families. Now that's totally different, but they didn't have the shopping or dining choices they have. They didn't have all the community activities, all that. And so I would say the only people that came back are usually ones that, family related, and that's about it. They didn't come here to start a family.
Yeah.
But now I think now that you've got all these other opportunities, we have great civic leadership. Is that, we do have good civic and commercial and educational leadership. And so there's a lot of things here.
And ministerial.
Ministerial.
Yes,
And ministerial, right. You have all the things now. We didn't have all that 30 years ago. All right.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a lot of reason. If you wanted to go out to a restaurant, you drove into Fort Worth. That's where most people work. That's, that kind of thing. Now we don't have to leave town.
We barely leave town.
I don't know.
I dread leaving town.
As far as like dining out and all this other stuff, I really don't do that. But once, maybe every few months, when my wife wants to go to a particular, antique mall in Dallas, she likes one over there a lot. And so we'll maybe eat over there. But as far as like, we're going to go eat, we just don't even think about going to the Fort Worth. We think, okay, go to, Gina's or Station 230 or, something like that. Or Rim, she likes the Rim.
So if we can get a Brazilian steakhouse here, that's the only reason why we go to downtown Fort Worth on Fridays.
Del Frisco's.
No, it's actually
Which one is it?
No, it's Texas Day Brazil.
Texas Day Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
half off on Fridays at lunch.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
nice.
You'd be surprised how many Brazilian students I have at DBU. I mean, a bunch. And I teach a DBU satellite class on Christ for the Nations. I walk through their student area, and they're all speaking Portuguese. I mean, it's amazing. I think about 35% of the students at CFNI are Brazilian. And I have a class this morning. I have 4 Brazilian students in it.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, they have a real strong connection, and so they come.
Interesting.
If you want to also learn how to speak Portuguese, go to Disney World and Universal Studios.
I'm working on Spanish.
Okay. All right. How did we get there? I don't know. Thursday I have a double header because Josh doesn't get enough of this. I'm gonna have, y'all probably you'd probably know Sarah Brown Roberts, right?
Yes.
I still call her Sarah Brown. I still have a hard time adjusting to married names. All right. 'Cause-
Dr. J told me he just barely changed mine to Johnson.
Yeah,
Like a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And I got married while I worked at the school district.
You know, it's just a whole habit. Like over Next Step, I keep calling Megan Swearingen, and keep calling her Hollowell, and it's no, get it right, dummy. But anyway, I have Sarah Brown Roberts coming over. She works for Century Security Systems or Solutions rather, and we're going to talk about that. And then on 1 o'clock, I have Corey Hickerson from the JISD superintendent. So that'll be fun.
Busy day.
Well, yeah, with Mr. Hickerson, it's like you're going to have to. If you want him on your show, you're going to have to work around his schedule.
Sure.
And that's what happens, you know. And it's the same way. I mean, not everybody is a lady of leisure like Victoria.
I am a pretty busy lady.
Yes,
okay?
I know.
I have to
Just what hat am I wearing right now?
Yeah, I know.
I have to get on her schedule to get a text message.
Well, that's right. Well, I just between the COG and the other events you're a part of, and the city and the motherhood thing, which I know which is your priority. It's mom.
Being a mom.
Yeah, and that you have to be available 24/7 for that, right?
Yes. Like
and
that
so
takes
you know,
precedence over everything.
so
and
you-
sometimes that's what I tell the guys. I'm like, I'm momming, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
I
no,
love you, but
I-
you got this.
I respect that a lot because I really do. That is your priority, and I'm sure it's Kelsey's priority too, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, she works, doesn't she?
Yeah, she works at home.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Remote work.
Right, but you know when the kids have needs, forget,
Oh, yeah.
forget the
That's it.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Both of us drop that.
yeah. Well,
be
anyway,
there.
and you too, right?
Oh, absolutely. My wife's amazing. Like, she's the glue. She's the glue that keeps the family together, keeps everything going.
Someday when you're on the show, I'm going to ask how y'all met and how romantic your proposal was and all that.
I'll have AI help me write that. down.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Josh, for being on the board.
Anytime.
Are you doing all right over there? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
He's over there having a good time. I'll see him doubleheader on Thursday. So y'all take care, and we hope to see you a week from Thursday, First United
Come out
Methodist.
7:30
7:30.
a.m. on Thursday, October 9th, First United Methodist.
Be
for a
in it.
delicious breakfast,
And
great
be-
stories,
Great stories.
and connections.
Amen.
And be in a generous mood. Hmm?
Yes.
Okay. We'll
Thanks,
talk to you
Mr.
later.
Allard.
You
Thank
bet.